Dr. Juni, when you hear Canada's chief, public health officer saying Omicron may have peaked across Canada, does that give you a sigh of relief, or do your own modeling numbers alarm you?
I'm looking at our own data, and as a matter of fact, tonight we will start to post on our dashboard wastewater data province-wide from Ontario, and you will see that these data indicate that we have peaked during the first part of January, which is great news. And this is now accompanied by a high plateau of hospital occupancy in Ontario, and now also likely a peak in ICU occupancy. So it's great news right now, but we need to be aware of one thing. This was us influencing this wave. We flattened it, we prolong it, and this means we need to be very careful. This is not the natural behavior of the wave, what we're seeing here in Ontario. Therefore, it's important to keep doing what we're doing, open slowly, and really, really rush with third doses. We need third doses in people's arms to keep this under control now.
So, Dr. Barett, does saying Omicron may have peaked in Canada run the risk of giving Canadians a false sense of security? Or does it give hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel? In other words, do you sense that we're all so anxious to be a little freer that we're getting ahead of ourselves?
Well, I sense many things, but I'll stick to the science part of it. I would echo what Dr. Juni just said. This is not just the virus behavior. This is a person-made, policy-made situation in Ontario and in some other provinces. And I do think that people are at a point where they are quite fatigued and they want to hear end, the word end, start to come into many things. We're about to change a whole lot of behavior, not just in Ontario, but also in other provinces, sending people back into school only a week ago. We need to see what's going to happen when those changes occur before we can decide to go forward. And to be honest, it really is imperative. I've said this a few times, it's not just rough in hospitals right now. It's nigh on people not getting the same quality of care they'd get 6 months ago, and that's not acceptable. So we really do have to be cautious and follow the numbers and not just say, we peaked and stop looking. We got to keep looking.
So when they say, Dr. Barett, that we're on the other side of the peak, what does it mean? It means we've plateaued, now we're going to go down? We're expecting cases to go down?
We hope so, again, but that is somewhat dependent, we think, on some of the precautions and or restrictions that we've been using. Certainly, it's not exactly been an open situation in Ontario, nor in other provinces like Nova Scotia. And so when we're on the other side, that's a retrospective look. That's a look backward. Nothing says that we won't see another little upswing as we start to pull things back. And if we do, honestly, until we finish getting boosters out, under 12s vaccinated, some natural exposure immunity, plus the oral antivirals in place as a combination packet, we're going to have to be very careful about looking backward as opposed to forward. And what I mean is that just because the cases went down doesn't mean they will stay that way unless we're careful.
Okay, so to that point, Dr. Juni, yesterday the Ontario government announced plans to gradually reopen the province starting at the end of this month. Is it premature for the Ford government to announce this plan when they estimate the peak in hospitalizations to be in mid-February?
It won't be in mid-February. We have peaked in terms of hospitalizations, but we need to be careful that after this peak, on this high plateau, we don't go up more when we open up more. So luckily, during the last 3 to 4 days, we have seen that our numbers in hospital really have stabilized. That's true. That's real now. The point now is, when we start to open more, and as Dr. Barett already said, we already have opened up schools, then we need to be very careful that we don't accelerate again and have more growth that will result in even more strain in our hospitals. But the positive news is we know exactly what to do. take it slow. So don't just rush, wherever you can when something is opening, and really push for third doses and have your kids vaccinated. This will help tremendously, together with the infections that also will offer immunity, of course.
So basically what the doctors are telling us here is baby steps, take it a little slower. Dr. Peter Juni and Dr. Lisa Barett, thank you first for your frontline service and for being there for us and answering our questions. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
You too.